looks good. Don't fall. It's doing it again.
No! Was it falling more? Okay, should we get started?
Yes!
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Local Music Shapes Culture. I'm Alison Christoff, and I'm here with the only person in both of my bands, Mia Rivas.
Yay! I'm Mia. I'm in both of Alison's bands.
She's in both of my bands.
It's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah, she plays, she does vocals in Kaya Hera, and then plays bass in Pigmale Brains.
We basically switch roles.
Yeah, that's true.
Literally.
But today we're going to be talking about writer's block.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really have an agenda for this.
No agenda.
No agenda. Oh, man. What's the first thing that comes to your head when you think about writer's block?
I just think that I have it a lot. I mean, because, yeah, I don't know. I suggested the theme because I feel like I've been struggling with it a lot lately. And just, like, throughout my...
Or creative block. I don't know if I said writer's block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's similar. I feel like I've had creative block in a lot of different avenues of my creativity. You know, I do a lot of artsy-fartsy shit. You know, I like drawing. I like doing music. I like doing a lot of different things. But I feel like at a certain point, you kind of get to the spot where you're just like, I don't know if I have anything left in me right now. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know if I can make something interesting, good, true to myself, you know, but...
What, what avenues have you been experiencing that in recently?
I feel like for me, it's a little bit of... I feel like I've been writing some cool songs, but I think I get really, really bogged down when I actually try to record them or, like, finalize, quote-unquote, finalize them, you know what I mean? I feel like there's just a lot of pressure to have, like, this perfect, fully developed, like, fully authentic piece of art that you've made.
Like, the inspiration is there when you are writing it, but then when it comes time to record it?
Yeah, it's just, like, like, for me, I just have this, like, grand vision of, like, the vibe I want and how I want it to sound and, like, the emotions I want it to invoke, but then, like, when I start actually getting down to the nitty-gritty of, like, producing it, I'm like, God, I don't know how to make this, like, what I think of in my mind. And I think some of that's just, like, a skill issue for me, you know what I mean?
I don't know. No, I mean, I get it. It's, like you can sing, it's like you can sing notes perfectly, but like whether the emotion is behind it is like a different vibe.
Yeah, for sure. And then that just gets like amplified when you're trying to create a full song, not just like one part of it. Like, because I think that's the hardest thing. When I'm in a band, I feel like bands are one of the ways, like one of the best ways to get past like any kind of creative block because you have so many other people to work off of.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like if I'm in Kaya Hera and I'm like, oh man, like I really like these lyrics, but like, what are you... Like, I have cool lyrics, but what are you envisioning for the vibe of this guitar riff you wrote? And then Jimmy or Tyler, like, one of our bandmates would be like, oh, like, I really want it to be, like, you know, like, kind of aggressive, kind of, like, this and this. And then I can kind of, like, take inspiration from that and be like, okay, let me make my lyrics more, like, in line with that vision. But when you're doing it all on your own, it can be kind of hard to, like, to make every part of the song align with the one vision.
Like they can help you generate ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And also just like generate the song as a whole. You know what I mean? Because I feel like the cool thing about bands a lot of times is if you're all collaborating in like a pretty equal sense, it's like every song is like this one idea that all of you put all your little ideas into.
Right, and you're able to put in like so much more effort into each part.
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to like,
spreading yourself thin with just like, trying to do everything.
That's like a dream I'd love to do one day, but it's like, it sounds like so much work.
It is, yeah. It's super, I mean, I feel like the people I'm most impressed by are people who really can like fully flesh out an idea they have. Like Eston and Armando, those two bastards that are so talented.
It's a lot easier when you're like good at multiple instruments.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like I'm good at multiple instruments, but I think my issue is that I'm so like not to use, it's kind of cringe to use this as an adjective, but I have pretty bad ADHD, so I'm very ADHD about things, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I'm like, oh, I really want to, like, I'm going to start doing tattoos. I think I'm going to focus on that. Oh, wait, I'm in 3 bands. I should probably focus more on that. Oh, maybe I'll start running again. Maybe I'll start working. Like, it's just like, I have like a million things that I want to do at the same time. And it's like, I need to get better at like being disciplined and like locking in on like one thing.
Yeah, I mean, I am too, right. It's like, or I don't even know if it's like locking in on one thing, but I feel like it's like prioritizing the most important parts.
Yeah.
Or like prioritizing which things are most important and then prioritizing like which of the things within those things are the most important to like advance.
Yeah.
You know?
Like you as a person or like your goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard to describe.
It's very hard to describe. And I feel like that's also why it's kind of hard to, like, I don't know, it's just hard to get organized with that kind of thing when you have so much going on. Like, and especially when it comes to creativity, another thing I think is very true for me and probably for most people is like,
oh,
whoa.
I'm messing with the light. I was wondering if it got brighter. I feel like wow. Oh, it's getting a little brighter maybe. Okay.
Slay.
Nice.
I'm like a moth right now. I'm hypnotized by the light. I'm gonna stop staring directly into it.
I have like 3 studio lights.
So, yeah. Wait, what was I saying? Oh, I was saying
It's not ADHD.
Not ADHD at all. No, we're fine. We're focused. We're locked in. I need to get back on Adderall.
We're very neurotypical.
Yes, we are normal. Yeah, I'm very normal. High five. Normal.
High five, normal.
Yes, I'm so normal.
Yes, normal.
Anyway. No, I just think I think another thing that I wanted to talk about a little bit with creative block is how sometimes you can drain yourself by doing too much. You know, trying to fully commit to too many avenues. Like,
yes, I just dropped my master's program class.
Yes, fuck school. No, just kidding.
Because it was my lowest priority.
Yeah, and I mean that's real. Because like sometimes there's things that look good on paper for you to do, but then you kind of look at it and it's like, okay, what benefit am I getting from this? Like you were just talking yesterday. You're like, I've done a lot to do this, but at the same time, you don't think it would really benefit you job wise that much. You're putting a lot of effort into it when you don't.
I could just like get a certificate and call it quits. And like there are a lot of other things I think would be more valuable in advancing my career, like rather than getting a master's as opposed to a graduate certificate. I don't know.
I don't even know what the fuck the difference. It sounds so similar. I also think like there's a lot of pressure to not quit. You know, when you're younger, like my parents would never let me really quit things if I started them. And I get that. Like you don't want to raise a quitter, but I do think as you get older, you kind of have to realize that sometimes the best thing to do is to quit. Like you can't.
It's good to try a lot of different things and see what feels the least like work to you.
Yeah, feel like what makes you passionate, like what makes you excited.
What makes you want to keep going.
But in order to find the thing, you're going to have to try a lot of different things and like fail and quit at them. And I think that's a normal part of the creative process. Like, you can't. It's
like you shouldn't just. I feel like the difference is like don't quit because of fear.
Yes.
Like quit because it's not for you.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like procrastination, I don't know. I feel like procrastination is rooted in fear a lot of the time.
No shit, yeah. Or just
Damn, we're getting deep on this podcast.
Procrastination is rooted in fear. No, I think that's very true. Like I totally, if I feel like I'm also in school and I feel like if there's like an assignment I don't think I'm gonna like do well at, I put it off like way longer. But then sometimes I start it and I'm like, I was just hyping this up for no reason. Like I'm totally capable of this. But it's like you get so in your head and like anxious.
It's like this, just the hurdle of like figuring out what even the assignment is first.
Yeah. Oh my God. Literally half my music tech stuff. It's like, I start reading the assignment. I'm like, what the hell? What the hell?
It just sounds like about? Gibberish because your head's like, so.
We took a short break.
Oh, my mom was like, I watched the first couple episodes of your podcast and I stopped watching because you said some bad words and
that's so funny. You should leave that in. That's funny.
And I didn't want to see you that way.
Damn, you're 28. You can say bad words if you want.
I'm
what
gonna
the
be
fuck?
29 on the 18th.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. My mom also gets on me for cursing, which is so funny because I love my mom. Shout out my mom. Girl, where do you think I got it from? You say you didn't curse around me? You liar. I saw you driving. I saw your road rage.
I definitely didn't get it from my mom.
I got it from my mom for sure. I love my mom. She's awesome, but like it's okay. It's okay. I think she's just concerned with how she looks to other people, like and that translates to me. Like she doesn't want me to look improper or uneducated. I am very proper. Okay, I'm not very proper, but I'm very educated.
Yeah, you're very proper.
Okay. I'm very educated. I'm very smart, but if I want to curse, I'm going to curse. Like I want to express myself how I want to express myself. Sometimes that's through saying some
I hate when people are like, cursing is just lazy language. Like, okay, but it's also just like colloquial. I don't know.
Lazy language is stupid. Like language evolves. Language is about communicating however you think you'll get your
academic bullshit.
Yeah, literally. I hate people who are like what's the word? Like uptight or like
academic bullshit.
Yeah, like feel superior because they're like.
Oh, but maybe I should consider anyway. Never mind.
What?
Nothing.
Real. I don't know. I think it's dumb to. Like, I'm guilty of it too sometimes, like, judging people how they talk, like, being like, oh, you messed up a word, you must not be smart. That's stupid. Like, people...
I did that a lot more when I was, like, a teenager on Tumblr with, like, you know, the whole, your versus your. Oh, this person is less smart because they use you apostrophe re in the wrong way. Like, I don't do that anymore. But when I was younger, I don't know. You learn.
Yeah, and it's just like there's different kinds of intelligence. I'm very good at like writing and reading and you know that kind of thing, and so I used to like really value that as like a peak form of intelligence, which is so fucking arrogant. You know what I mean? And self-centered. It's like. I am very good at writing. I hate math. I'm not very good at like very mathy, sciencey things. There are people who probably don't have my writing ability but are way better at math than me. That doesn't make us any like no one's better because you're getting better at math stuff.
I have a math degree.
Oh, I always forget that. I can't. I can make myself do it, but I just like I get so pissed off. I'm like, I don't want to look at these fucking numbers.
Whereas, like, I have genetically horrible reading comprehension. My mom had 8 brothers and sisters, and they all would share the physical spark notes. And all of her brothers are engineers.
That's real, yeah. It's actually so funny because I'm definitely more of a, like, liberal arts lady, like writing, reading, historical shit. And then I'm getting a science degree right now, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm challenging myself.
Challenging.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I hate people who think that just because they're educated or just because they are good at one thing that they're better than everyone else.
It's not the way to be.
It's not the way to be. Yeah, you're missing out on a lot of really cool, smart, innovative people if you're just overlooking them because of something you deem unintelligent, you know, whatever.
Yeah. It's like a form of closed-mindedness.
It is. And it's a form of like, I mean, I also think there's a whole other discussion with that of being educated as opposed to not being educated. Being educated a lot of times just means that you have the money to get an education. So it's like, I don't know, you're not better because you got opportunities.
Or like even I feel like it because like I just like I do a lot of higher education for my job, and so there's like I don't even think it's like after seeing it and seeing all the financial aid opportunities available to low income students, I don't think that even like I don't even know if that's half of it. I think a lot of it is growing up in an environment where that's not normalized.
Yeah, that's true too.
Or expected.
Well, then it's the other thing. It's not just the money. It's like also it's
not in a way that like just like if you're not like raised by adults that value that or like see that as capable for themselves, you're not going to see that as capable for yourself.
Yeah, and
does that make sense?
Yeah, and then also it's just like it's money for like being able to pay for education, but then it's also money like, you know. My dad worked a lot when I was younger, but sometimes I would have times where he'd be at home at night and he could help me with my math homework. If you're struggling, and he was very good at math, so that helped me. If you're someone whose both parents are working all the time, trying to make ends meet, and you don't have like that adult person to help you with stuff like that, it can be really hard. So, end of story. I just don't think like you should discredit people just because of their level of education. Like, I don't know.
No.
I mean, not to say education isn't valuable. It definitely is, but it's not the only thing that makes someone intelligent at all.
I just realized I've been shorter than you in this whole podcast. Then I sat up. We just talked about how I'm the shortest one in Pigmale Brains, and I'm not used to being a short girl because I'm like 5'7".
Yeah, I know. I love it. We're tall. We're Amazonians. We're an Amazonian band. We hate men. We're tall. We're badass.
Yeah, we hate all men.
We're gay.
100%.
Amazonians are so gay, dude. Are you talking about a tribe full of women living together? Okay.
We don't live together.
No, I mean, oh god, that was a total non sequitur. Oh my god.
Amazonians live together.
Yeah.
I know nothing about Amazonians.
I don't even remember. Is that like Greek mythology, maybe? Something.
Really?
But I used to be really into Greek mythology, but they literally like in mythology they would have like husbands that would do all the like the chores for the like all the like the women's work but they'd make their husbands do, and I was like
that's true. Pigmale Brains is named after Greek mythology.
Yes. Calypso? No.
Circe.
Yeah. Calypso's a different one. Circe, yeah. Yeah, we could tell a story of the Pigmale Brain name.
Yeah, Pigmale Brains originated because Mia wanted to name it after the Greek goddess Circe, and her most famous story is these men that come onto the island, like it's like one of those, Odyssey stories.
Yeah.
I forget which one of the books it is, but and they come across this really beautiful woman, and she invites them into her home, and she feeds them and gives them wine and stuff, and they're just really greedy about it all. And then they look at her and they want her too. And she like knows that these men are pigs. She like knew the whole time.
Yeah.
And it turns out she poisoned their wine with like a potion or something and turned them all into pigs.
Yeah. I love that. I'm not, listen.
That's what the song Swine is about.
Yeah. It's so, yeah, I think that's a kind of a slay name. I'm not like a full misandrist. Like I have a lot of male friends. I love some men, but I think I'm very against the culture of masculinity that is happening right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
men that don't acknowledge all that stuff.
Yeah, men who...
Not that we actually hate all men.
No, yeah, guys, I don't hate all men.
In the same way that we're like pretty much white people and we need to acknowledge our whiteness.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I just think like, part of being a good person is seeing different perspectives, not just centering yourself and everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a problem I see with a lot of men. Also with a lot of white people too, is just being like, well, I don't experience sexism, so I don't think you experience sexism. Bitch, you're a man. Why would you experience sexism? What the fuck are you talking about? It's like me being like,
I don't see you experience sexism, so it must not exist.
What the fuck are you talking about, bro? Like if you have a mother, a sister, any female friends, and you talk to them for 5 seconds, you're gonna, every person I know that is like a woman has experiences, and it sucks, but
For sure.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like probably a lot of people think I hate men because of all my lyrics in Kaya Hira, but those are just like talking about specific experiences I've had with shitty.
I don't think any of our audience really cares about that.
Yeah, true. That's true. Yeah. I don't know why I'm suddenly. Never mind. I'm not apologizing to men. Actually, my stance is firmer now. I'm even more anti-man than I ever was before. # no apologies.
I'm confused now.
I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, creative block.
We got on a tangent.
Yeah, I don't know. I like definitely go through creative block. I feel like when I'm like trying to write something, I like write it best if I either have like a sudden moment of inspiration when I'm like not even trying to focus on it. I'm like literally like just taking a walk or like, and I suddenly think of something I wanted to work on and I'm like, okay, I got to write all these ideas right now while I'm inspired about it. Because otherwise like the same energy is not there.
Yes.
Or I'm like, or I need to like hyper obsess over it and it's like the main thing I'm thinking about for like a week or so.
Yeah, I feel like I am also similar to that. I feel like usually when I'm writing songs, I like starting with like some kind of like guitar melody or some kind of like melodic part and then writing lyrics based off that. But lately I've been doing way more where I am just like thinking about something or like feeling something and I'm like, I really want to write. I kind of want to like express what I'm feeling, you know what I mean? And then I've made songs about that, like from that, and that's been really cool lately. I like doing that.
Yeah.
I think the main, like, I know a lot of different people who take different approaches to music, and I don't think there's any one right way to do it, but for me, I feel like it is like, the reason I love art is because I feel like it helps me express myself and understand myself better.
Yeah, I feel like in a lot of punk bands, like, the way to do, like, vocals is usually they come last.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's really unusual in other areas of music a lot of the time.
Yeah, for sure. I think it really depends on, like, how you're making music. Because I'm around a lot of really, like, technical people in my major and stuff. Or not even just technical, but people who are more, like, they're into the music for the sake of music as an art. Whereas I think I'm more into music as music for the sake of expression and storytelling.
That's real.
Yeah, I think it's just it's like,
I feel like I'm like pretty heavy on the expression. Like,
me too.
My favorite part of being in a band is the performance.
Me too. Yeah. I'm sure some musicians out there are gonna be like, but
about their favorite part
or about like not, I don't know. I feel like I've encountered some people who are like, oh well, music is just like about music, you know. But I think that's a little simplistic.
Yeah, I guess it just depends.
It depends on who you are. And if you write music like my roommate Steven, for example, shout out Steven, he's super talented, and we've talked about this, like when he's writing a piece, he's not really thinking of the emotion behind it necessarily. He's thinking about like cool, technical, interesting new stuff that he can mess with to make something interesting, which is also very cool and a very valid way of making art. It's just different from how I do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not necessarily digestible to the masses either.
That's true.
When you don't understand how it's interesting and how it's technical.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the people too, because there are some people who would hear us like talking about stuff and they're like, I don't give a fuck what this person is talking about.
Which sometimes the really technical stuff does also sound good to the masses. It's just like, just because something is interesting and technical doesn't necessarily mean that it will be good.
I think all the best things are a combination. Yeah, exactly. Because also
simple music can be good too.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, pop music is very simple, usually. Like, 90% of the time, songs you're hearing on the radio, especially when you're, like, the more I've learned about music, when I start hearing songs on the radio now, I'm like, that is literally, like, a fucking, like a chord progression I learned about in, like, music theory. Like, it's, like, a numerical, like, the Roman numeral shit, like, going, like,
145 or whatever.
Yeah, like, that shit. It's, like, you can hear it the more you learn about music, you're like, oh, that is simple, but I mean, it depends on your goal, what you're trying to do with it. You know what I mean? If you want to make it appealing, the best way to make it appealing to a lot of people is to make it digestible, kind of simple, very catchy. Yeah. But if you're trying to be a little weirder, if you're trying to experiment, if you're trying to challenge yourself, then that is not the move, obviously. But.
Yeah. I don't know. I used to think about that a lot because when I first started wanting to make music, I felt like all my favorite music was really complicated. And so that was really difficult for me to get started.
You're like, fuck, I can never do this. Like
Exactly. Like my favorite artist I've mentioned before is like Laura Nero. And I think her music does like, it is really complicated, but in a way that you like don't even realize at first, which is cool. Yeah, again, wasn't the easiest for me when I first started to want to make music, but it's just interesting. It's like every time I listen to those songs, I like notice a new component or part to it, or like the way it's structured that I'm like, I will never get tired of this.
That's so cool.
That's cool about like complex music too, is that like there's always something new to look at.
Yeah, no, for sure. I do like I love a lot of really overly complex, or not even overly, just like super complex music. Like I am a huge math rock person, which is like, weird time signatures, like a lot of really cool like
yeah, her and April are where the Pigmale Brains sometimes weird time signatures come from.
Yeah, oh my god. Well, Autumn's getting into it too though. Autumn is matching our freak and this band.
Yeah, I mean we're just like the reason that works is because April's such a good drummer.
Yeah,
because like if you don't have a drummer that can like do weird time signatures or transition between weird time signatures, then like the guitarists and bassists and everyone just has to like adhere to like normal time signatures.
Yeah. What's the one I think Magdalene is 15/8 or something, or is that Autumn's?
Or wait, was it Big Struttin'?
Big Struttin', yeah.
Because remember we spent so long trying to figure out time signature of that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. It's like 9/8 or something. I don't fucking know. Don't.
It doesn't matter. Sometimes you don't even need to know. You just need to get the feeling behind it.
Yeah, actually, it's really funny because that's another thing. Like sometimes you might be so focused on like writing things that you think are complex that you don't even realize that you're already writing some weird shit without even knowing. Because like, but I did not, like, I'm in music school right now, but I did not come from a technical background. I took 0 music classes in high school, like none. I took middle school band. That is the most like technical training I have. But like.
You took guitar lessons when you were younger.
I did take classical guitar, but I like took a huge break from that, and I am gonna be so real. I never knew how to read music when I was doing that. I would just like I knew how to read it, but I have to write in all the notes above the notes.
Yeah, if you gave me a lot of time, I could probably read music.
Yeah, I'm getting better at it now. But my point was like before I even knew how to like hear or feel like time signatures a lot, I would write shit, and then April would be like, "Girl, that's a fuck time signature," and I was like, oh, I didn't even realize. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you surprise yourself. You don't need to know the names for everything to be able to do cool shit,
Yeah, for sure.
But it can help when you're trying to challenge yourself or experiment,
To dig into like what you wrote.
Yeah, like I think the thing that like you don't need technical or like you don't need to know music or understand music theory to make cool stuff, but I think it can benefit you as a kind of exercise. You know what I mean? Like you can use it. Like actually this kind of comes back to creative block. Like sometimes when I'm having creative block, I will be like, okay, like me and April will be like, okay, we want to write a song in 5/4. and we'll be like, that's going to be the inspiration, and then we write it, and it might not be the best thing ever, it might not be something we're going to release, but it's a really good exercise in just writing something.
Yeah, that's the other thing with creative block too. Sometimes you literally just gotta like push yourself to do it, or do it repeatedly, because like I hear so much all the time that you just like, it's just way better to create a bunch of bad drafts than to spend forever on one thing to try to make it perfect.
Yes. And
you also learn so much faster by doing that.
Yes, exactly. And that's kind of what I was talking about with having all these different focuses is
I'm bad at that.
I know, me too. No, that's the thing. Like, that's what I'm kind of was trying to say earlier with all these different focuses I have. I need to get better at really being disciplined and like focusing on, okay, I'm going to practice guitar every day. Like, I'm a guitarist. I love playing guitar, but I feel like I haven't reached a really, really proficient level of being a guitarist yet because I'm not consistent enough.
I don't know. You're still way better than me, Mia.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've been doing it for so long. I definitely should be better than what I am. But like,
no, you are pretty decent.
Yeah, I know. I'm not saying I'm bad, but I feel like if I did it every day, I could be way better. And I think that's why I want to start trying to be more consistent with it. Like
all true. It goes back to the priorities, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that is becoming more of a priority for me.
And like something I heard interesting like not too long ago is like it's not like about squeezing in as much as possible or even necessarily prioritizing, but it's also about like what you're willing to let go to pursue like the other things.
That is a huge issue for me.
It's really hard.
Yeah, I am so sentimental and like about everything I do that it's hard for me to do that, but I've definitely it's something I learned in high school mainly because holy shit, when I was in high school, I was a different breed of human. I was insane. I was doing theater shit. I was running cross country. I was doing track. I was in 2 bands. I was like a very good student. And then I crashed. Like, because that's so much shit to be constantly doing. And I wasn't really prioritizing anything. So everything was slipping through the cracks. And then my senior year, I finally quit the sports shit because I realized I hated it. And that freed me up so much more and allowed me to pursue like the other things I was actually passionate about more.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, back to me dropping my class this semester.
Yeah, I'm in support of it. I mean...
No, I mean, I think it's the best thing. Yeah. I think it's just legitimately my lowest priority. And especially once I heard I could get a certificate, I'm like, that sounds great.
Yeah, give me that certificate. Let's go.
It sounds like I've already made up my mind. I've made no official documentation of this.
Well, the fact that you're talking about it so much and you have a consistent opinion about it is pretty, like, telling.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what the right move is.
Yeah. I do.
It's hard though, because I do feel like whenever I stop doing something, I feel a little guilty about it. Do you feel like that with this? Like, do you feel like part of it feels...
I did at first. Like, I just, you know, I felt so much better once I met with my advisor, and she was like, well, you can probably still get a graduate certificate with your credits already. But before that, I wasn't sure if I was just, like, not going to get, like, any sort of credential for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, like... Because I also, you know, like, work in higher education, so I was, like, scared that would, like, kind of look bad. I don't know.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But I think that initial feeling is super normal because, like, once again, I can relate to that. But you seem to understand that it's not really going to impact you that much if you don't do it, and it is actively draining your energy.
Yeah.
And not something that you feel passionate about.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway... Like, another thing I have, like, heard a lot that I'm also pretty bad at to, like, help get past creative block is, like, the whole time limit thing. Have you heard people say that a lot? Like, just literally set a timer for yourself and be like, I need to get this one thing done in this set amount of time. Like, no matter how bad it is. And... Like, I mean, because, like, I'm pretty much only experience this when I actually have a really hard deadline. And I'm like, how the hell did I get that done in, like, an hour?
That's real. I think that's a good idea. I think I should try doing that more. That's a good strategy, like setting a timer.
You should try it out. I need to do it more.
I know. I actually think, because actually I had an assignment, like, literally last week. So, yeah, I don't think anyone from my school is going to watch this, but I fucking forgot about this assignment. It was the morning of my class. My class was at 10:30. And I woke up at 9 and I realized I had an assignment due. It was making a movie, sci-fi movie soundtrack with a theremin. I already had the theremin recordings, but I didn't do shit for, like, the actual, like, there was nothing in Ableton for that. And I was like, oh my God, I have to do this. And I did it in, like, 40 minutes. And it was fire. And I was like making quick decisions. I was, and it actually turned out really good.
Or like did you hear how like Doechii wrote that whole mixtape in a month? She gave herself a month to write that. And look at what she made.
I love her.
Like,
she's
it's
so
like,
good, yeah.
But I think that it's just like so real. It's like something is activated in your brain once you have like a deadline to get something done.
For sure. Yeah, I definitely think I should start doing the timer thing. That's actually a good life hacks with Alison.
Life hacks that I still need to follow.
Yeah. That's so real. That's actually pretty interesting though, because
I'm putting it out there though. Y'all hold me to it.
Yes.
Give me a deadline for something.
Give Alison all the deadlines. Drown her in deadlines.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe offer me monetary compensation.
Oh my goodness, that's funny.
Oh, look, I blew the mic. Fun.
Oh, damn, it peaked. Was it laughing?
Yeah, the laughing is usually what does that.
This shirt used to be a swimsuit from Goodwill, but it was, when I tried to wear the swimsuit, my coochie was not happy, so I cut off the bottom part and just made it a tank top. My Jim Gaffigan. Nice. Oh, my king. Look at him.
Beautiful.
He's so kawaii.
I don't know who he is.
He's a comedian.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what is he from? Oh, he's in, what's that? What's that movie where they go to Vegas and they find that baby? Have you not watched that? It's really funny. Like Bachelor or something. I don't know. Someone will know what I'm talking about.
Familiar.
It's pretty funny. You should watch it. He's a pretty silly guy.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually going to go to the bathroom, so you think about whether
I have anything else to say. Okay, let me ponder. Alone on the camera. What shall I say? Here, I'll give a close up of my shirt so you guys can really appreciate it. Slay. Look at it. Beautiful. Stunning. Never done before. Okay, also, Alison, if you're watching, you have to keep this in, because don't comment on my bangs. I know they're uneven, but I'm very insecure about them. I'm going to fix them. So if you're watching this video, don't judge my bangs. If you do, I'll be very sad. Please do not judge my bangs. Please. I'm begging you. I cut my own hair too much. But I'm not paying for a haircut. Those are fucking expensive for no reason. I have scissors at home. It adds to my punk look. Being too lazy to do it well.
Something about your bangs.
Yeah, I wanted to I was gonna say that at the beginning, but I've been really insecure about how uneven I cut my bangs. And so I wanted to give a PSA that if anyone commented about my bangs being uneven, I would cry. Guys, please.
Anyway, did you think of anything else?
Okay, yeah. The one thing I was thinking about earlier that I thought would be interesting to talk about would be so we literally just talked about how it's good to like focus in on like a few specific things and kind of like set your priorities. But on the other hand of that, to be contradictory, I do feel like sometimes if you're feeling like a creative block, it can also be useful to take a step back from
That's true.
the thing and just do other little things to inspire creativity. Like, sometimes I'll be really stuck on like producing a song or like writing a song for something, and I'll be like, you know what, I'm just gonna go doodle. I'm gonna go listen to music and doodle. And that can kind of like inspire you in other ways,
It's a balance.
Yeah, it's a balance.
Sure.
I think it can be good to like explore other options.
Yeah. I've also heard that like just like thinking about things, like if you're having like a creative block and you're like really trying to get it done, that it's good to like get your body moving because it does something to your brain, like going to take a walk or something.
Yeah, I feel like that's actually pretty good advice. I've been trying to work out more. I used to work out.
It doesn't even need to be intense exercise.
Yeah, that's true. I just feel like I'm a lazy person.
Yeah.
I'm in my bed a lot. I'm bed
I have
rotting
a dog, so I feel guilty if I don't take him.
That's good. That's a good motivator. A dog. Yeah. We got a leash for our cat.
Did you?
Yeah, he doesn't.
Cats don't really like.
He does not love it, but he loves being outside.
That's cute.
But we can't let him outside because our fucking neighbor traps and kills animals. So
that's scary.
Yes.
Outdoor cats are kind of bad for the bird population anyway.
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot of issues with that, but I just feel bad because I feel like I'm depriving him of nature. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
But I want him to be safe.
I'm not a cat. I don't know.
You're not a cat? What the heck? I am. Shout out furries. No, I'm just kidding. But shout out furries. Furries are awesome. I love furries. I want to go to a furry rave.
Okay.
Someone told me about a furry rave. I'll
I
put
have
cat
no
ears.
comment.
Well, you don't fuck with furries?
They kind of creep me out.
They're just not well, yeah. I don't love the style of some of the fursuits, like the classic furry style where they have the really like big eyes and like the BBL furry, you know what I mean?
I avoid this topic.
I think a lot of furries are really cool because they're just expressing their creativity and they're, doing silly fun shit and they don't care about what other people think. I think a majority of them. I think there's a few weird ones probably, but
Yeah, see, to me, I think I place them in the same mindset as like the old dudes at like My Little Pony.
the bronies? Dude, I have been so into bronies lately. I love watching long YouTube videos about brony controversies. It's been like one of my things I've been really into.
That sounds funny.
It's so interesting. I think like do you know about how like bronies like started?
No.
So, okay, you need to leave this in because this is interesting. It has nothing to do with the rest of the episode, but it's really interesting. Basically, like, bronies were, like, a group of people on, like, 4chan, Reddit, whatever, who originally it was a bunch of older dudes kind of shitting on My Little Pony, being like, oh, this is lame, whatever, blah, blah. And then they started, like, hate watching the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then they started, like, making inside jokes about the show. And then eventually it got to the point where they were just watching the show.
That's
and
so
enjoying
funny.
the show and being into the show. And I honestly think, like, I don't think I have anything against, like, adults watching kids shows. I think the with most things.
I don't either. I still watch Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, I love Adventure Time, favorite. But I think the reason that both bronies and sometimes furries and like communities similar to that have a bad reputation is the adult people who start making weird content that's like sexualized.
Yeah,
shows.
No,
That's
honestly, that's where I'm coming from. It's not necessarily them liking it.
No, yeah,
like...
and I don't think all of them are weird like that, but I do think there are some that are weird like that. Like, I literally just had this conversation with Armando yesterday because I was talking about when I was younger, I was on DeviantArt. Shout out if anyone knows what that is. Because I was a huge book nerd, and so I'd read these book series, and I'd want more content related to it, but there wouldn't be any more books, so I'd be like, I want to read fan fictions, I want to see the fan art, and then I'd go on these sites, and bam, furry porn. Bam,
Yeah.
not suitable for work fan fiction about a book, like, directed towards, like, children, so... I think it's fine to enjoy anything at any age, but when you start getting it weird and sexual and putting on places that kids are going to go on, don't do that, guys. Don't do that. Weird.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
It's pretty weird. I'd say so, yeah. But, I think, yeah, it's an interesting world we live in.
Yeah, what it is to be a human.
What is it to be a human? Furries?
Furries? Might as well.
Yeah,
not as... Yeah. If you wanted to be.
Yeah. Would you accept me if I was a furry?
Maybe.
Don't be hateful, Alison. What would your persona be if you were a furry?
Persona?
Fursona.
I don't even know what the options are.
Any animal.
Maybe a deer?
I can see being a deer. I think I'd be like a raccoon. Like a little trash goblin thing. I think that fits. Guys, make Alison rich and famous so that she can buy a fursuit.
I don't want a fursuit.
Sorry. Oh my god. This episode, I feel like we can keep going on so many random non sequiturs.
It's true.
Yeah. Okay, should we have any closing words?
Start a band.
Yes.
Start a band. Make art. Just like literally, even if you think it's bad, just put your art into the world because you'll just get more comfortable doing it, and other people won't think it's bad most likely, or if they do, like F them.
Yeah, and then also it helps you improve your art too.
Yeah.
If it's like just mean and useless criticism, that's one thing. But if it's like actual constructive, that's another good thing about putting your art out there is you can get people's feedback and improve as an artist.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean it's similar to being in a band, like.
And you have like more of an influence on the like culture if you like do put your art out there. I'm just very pro like normal people putting their art and their voices out into the world because so many people don't think that they're like worthy of doing that.
Yeah, everyone's worthy of doing that.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves to do that. I definitely think, and it's like beneficial to other people to know that someone else feels and thinks the way they do or thinks in a way that they've never even thought of thinking. That didn't make sense. What am I saying?
Say it again.
Okay. It's also beneficial because sometimes you'll have something to say that people don't consider. You know what I mean? Like, they've actually never thought about what you're saying, and then you say it, and they're like, oh, that's a good point. That's something I've never thought about, you know?
Yeah.
You're putting out new ideas in the world, and you're also finding other people that, you know, can add to those ideas or agree with those ideas or disagree with those ideas, you know? Like,
yeah.
It's just, I think the greatest way to overcome a creative block is to be around other creative people.
True.
Yeah.
Community is very important.
Yes. So, #community.
#community.
Yes.
So find your people, put your art out there, and thank you for joining us on Local Music Shapes Culture. I'm Alison Christoff. This is Mia Rivas, the only person in both of my bands.
Let's freaking go!
Mia's in like a million bands too. She's in 3.
Yeah, 3 is a million.
Yeah. Your other one is Halfway House.
Halfway House.
Halfway House Hardcore.
Hardcore.
On Instagram, Halfway House HC.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. Do you want to shout out any other socials, like you or anything, or anyone else, or?
There's so many people. I feel like I'd go on forever. Shout out every single band in Indianapolis except for the ones that are bad. Shout out Stars Fading Out Quietly, new favorite band.
Hell yeah. Check them out on Bandcamp. They just have a new release.
Yes. Shout out Gooseflesh. Shout out. There's so many other bands. I can't shout all of them out. But yeah I love.
Indianapolis has a pretty big scene, like more than you would think.
There are so many talented people here. There's so many talented people everywhere.
Yeah.
So.
Go find your community and engage. Yes. Thank you guys for joining. This podcast is hosted on Substack, so you can watch the videos or listen on Substack and subscribe. You can become a paid subscriber for $5 a month if you want to support my work. But Substack pushes it to YouTube, and then Substack also hosts its RSS feed, which pushes it out to all the other podcast platforms like Spotify and Apple.
Support Alison, or I'm coming to your house.
Thank you guys for joining. We'll see you next week.
Bye. Bye.